Welcome to the Destiny Awakening Interviews, a podcast with Andrew Wayfinder and his guests, bringing you powerful insights, inspiration, and ways to break free, live life your way, and make a difference in our changing and challenging world.
So hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another edition of the Destiny Awakening Interviews. I'm Andrew Wayfinder Renievich, and I'm joined today by Yen Maschke, speaker, author, executive coach, and strategist. And a very warm welcome to you, Yen. And where are you hanging out tonight?
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, in the U.S. Good to be here, Andrew.
Yeah, it's great to see you. So let's get on to the work that you're doing and the book you've written, which I think is a really fascinating one. Yen Maschke is the founder of Yen Maschke, and we'll spell that in the show notes. It's YANMASCHKE.com. Yen is an award-winning executive and team coach, speaker, and author of Leadership Unlocked, Unleash the Power of Your Body for Impact and Fulfillment. For more than 20 years, Yen led strategy and execution in Fortune 500 environments and managed multiple global businesses with revenues of more than 100 million each. Now she coaches leaders and teams worldwide to achieve more while doing less in a style that feels authentic and inspiring to them. Yen is known for her experiential style that actively engages mind and body to deliver deeper insights and faster results. And the industry authority, the International Coaching Federation, selected Yen as the only coach in North America to be featured in their video of success stories for 2020. So thank you, Yen, for your time today.
It's a pleasure.
And the topic we'll be diving into is authentic leadership through the mind and body. And Yen is going to unpack that by answering 6 questions. So the first question, I guess we're looking both at your clients, but more importantly, your readers. So who is your ideal reader? And what is the transformation your work and book would help them to achieve?
Yeah, so I'll probably answer in 2 ways. The ideal client that I work with, and typically they are corporate executives and executive teams. I work with them on either one-on-one executive coaching or leadership team coaching or strategy facilitation for the team. But in terms of the book has a much broader audience, not just the senior leaders and senior teams. I wrote the book because I can only take on so many clients in my limited time in life. So I wanted to be able to share the message of mind-body leadership with a broader audience. And it's written for any leader in any industry. And leader can be leading in work, can be leading in a community, or could be leading in your own family household or leading ourselves. So it really can be for anyone. I said, if you have a body, it's probably going to help you. So that's kind of what the book is for. And in terms of the transformation that I help people with in the client work I deliver, typically the transformation that they try to achieve is to find that connection with the authentic self, so they have the sustained power to welcome any change thrown at them and to be effective in their leadership at work, be it in effectively leading a team, emotional intelligence, or leadership presence and influence. So that's really the transformation for the client that I work with to access that inner power to be more effective. In terms of the book, it can also similarly, even though not everybody needs to be a corporate senior executive, but if you are leading your own life or in any other way leading others in your community or workplace, this book can help you find that shortcut. The body is a shortcut to more effective leadership and authenticity by disrupting the habits of the mind and the habits that are stored in our body.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, that sounds very relevant to, I do a lot of work with body and bodily awareness. So I think this sounds very congruent.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see the work you do.
Yeah. So question number 2, with these clients, what's the biggest challenge they're facing, or someone who's reading the book, what would you say is the biggest challenge that the book would help them address?
I would say that when you think about having a fulfilling life and typically involve some kind of positive change, behavior change. In leadership, it's always about positive behavior change in the leadership realm, or if you're just leading yourself, it's also about more positive behavior change to help us achieve our goals, whatever that change may be. And this book is going to show you that our traditional way of thinking about the change is good, but may not be the fastest way for you to get there. By incorporating the mind and the body, then you can access a shortcut to accelerate that speed of change. I don't know if you want me to give you an example. I'm happy to do that if you'd like.
Well, I think that probably ties into question number 3. What's the number one insight or tip you would share with people to help them right now? So I suspect it would tie right into there.
Yes, it would. So speaking of positive behavior change, the number one insight is pay attention to the habits that have been stored inside of our body. And so neuroscientists believe, for the most part, most neuroscientists believe that 90 to 95% of our daily decisions are made not from the conscious mind, right? So a lot of our actions and decisions are really stored in our neurobiological system. And so if we are trying to drive a change in our lives or in our workplace, for example, we want to be more strategic in our thinking or action. If we want to delegate more, I want to be more emotionally intelligent. I want to be able to lead change more effectively. Whatever that change we are trying to drive, we may not necessarily be able to make that change from the thinking and the mind to the actual behavior that we embody quickly. So pay attention to the habits that are stored in our body, in our neurobiological system, and to be able to interrupt that at not the thinking level, because we always think about the change we want to make, but really interrupt that at a physical level. And so we can accelerate that change, make that happen.
Okay, great. So question number 4, in your own development, what concept, book, program, talk, or experience has had the greatest impact?
A couple of things that come to my mind. As part of my coaching training, I attended an elective training program called Body-Centered Coaching. And that's when it really, that's what it ignited my passion inside of myself to. And that really resonated with me because I grew up in a culture in China where it really is more about a holistic view about the person or about the system of any sort. And so that body-centered coaching allowed me to really deepen that commitment to that holistic approach to leadership. The second thing I would give credit to is Dan Siegel. He's a neuroscientist. When I was considering the path to become an executive coach and team coach, I was a corporate executive myself, and I wasn't finding the fulfillment I was looking for when I was really achieving all the success I wanted. And I wasn't sure if executive coaching is the right path because, well, I am an executive. I work with a lot of executives in the corporate world. I don't know that they would really want to talk about this soft stuff of leadership and emotional awareness and presence and how do we cultivate the self, right? We're more about the results. And can I really, really get clients to want to explore this in the coaching realm? And Dan Siegel, who's a neuroscientist, and through him, and I learned a whole lot about neuroscience and how the science or the emergence of science, we're really in the early stages of science in this, really started to prove the benefits of all of this stuff that I'm talking about, and really resonated with me in terms of kind of how I grew up in this holistic way. And it really, the light bulb went off and said, yeah, I am the bridge between the West and the East. That's something I thought about since high school. I'm the bridge between the West and East. And I think that executive coaching, I can bring that holistic view and to allow leaders like myself who not only can have success, but also can make their highest impact and also feel fulfillment and be very authentic.
Great. Well, it also reminds me, I was talking with a business coach friend of mine, and I was complaining a little bit, I think a little bit like you, of being on the squishy end of the scale of results and what you can promise a client. It's not like coming in and saying, well, I can make the following changes to your bottom line by, improving your accounting procedures. And he says, yeah, but remember, all business problems are personal problems.
So very well said. Andrew, and working with the clients I work with are very senior, and they typically bring a presenting challenge. But when I work with them and coaching with them, I don't really coach the issue. I coach the person holistically. Because when we can access truly what's authentic to ourselves and then really find that conviction behind the change we want to drive, whatever that needs to be done in the doing side, I call it the being and the doing, it comes naturally. The client already knows how to do it. It's about getting themselves out of the really work on the whole person and support the whole person, allow them to really come through that higher power. So I totally agree with you. It's not directly working on the bottom line, but it will very much powerfully impact the bottom line.
Yeah, very much so. So question number 5, what's the free resource you'd like to share with the audience to help them? And I think we mentioned about an electronic excerpts or pieces of your book, and that that will be available on your website. Yeah, free chapter available on your website.
I will make sure that that link is available for you to put in your show notes. Yeah.
Okay. So, and again, if in doubt, just go to www.yanmaschke.com, and there will be a link or an offer there.
In the book page.
Yeah.
But I will make sure that I send you a link that specifically takes them there.
But I'm just making sure that what's heard will have that link.
Oh, that's right. We're only hearing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if people are reading the show notes, they'll be able to see it. But okay. So the last question, Yan, is what should I have asked you that I didn't?
Well, since we're talking about authentic leadership through the mind and body, maybe one thing you could have asked me is, what's a small tip or strategy to have more authenticity as we strive for our success? Is that something that you want to ask me?
Sure. Yeah. So what's your secret tip for authenticity?
So there is a small little tip, and it's also in the book as well. It's I call it mind body aligned decision making. So usually when we are hesitant about something, if we're procrastinating about something, or we don't know how to make a decision, or if we make a decision, we don't feel right about it. And when we feel that hesitation, I believe there's something that's misaligned between 4 things. The 4 things are what we think, what we feel, what we speak, and what we do. And the little tip here, or the strategy here, is to check alignment between the 4 things, amongst the 4 things. What do we think, what we feel, what do we speak, and what we do? And go through that one by one and check where we have misalignment. And from there, I can see, what does that mean? What would I do differently? How can I ensure more alignment? How do I bring them into alignment? When we can do that, we have the confidence behind whatever we decide to do, and we have the conviction to go forward. And the energy that comes from that is extremely sustainable. So check for the alignment between the four things.
That's a great tip, and I can really echo that. I mean, the question of alignment it's a big part of my work. It's a different form of alignment, but it has to do with aligning, your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, right? It's very similar if you think about
but it's what very
you think
similar.
Is your mental, what you feel is your emotional, what you speak and do is with your body, right? I'm simply not speaking to the spiritual side in the leadership realm as much as clearly as you are.
But I also think that, procrastination gets a bum rap. I mean, sometimes it's resistance, but sometimes it's your unconscious saying, this isn't completely thought through. We don't have everything we need.
It's just telling you that, let's take a little bit time to figure this out. When they're aligned, when we are aligned, we are most powerful and authentic and inspiring.
Yeah. Well, that's a great place to stop, Yen. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Destiny Awakening interviews. If you have a friend who would benefit, please share and subscribe to the show on iTunes and leave a review. We really appreciate it. And remember, always use your power for good.